Going to show you a Wi-Fi connected target at this point. And so that you can see on both displays, I'm actually remote controlling this target over Wi-Fi right now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how we do that. We can do that with cellular or over Wi-Fi, thin bandwidth, but maximum bandwidth utilization using our DKX4101 and KVM solutions. And I'm going to make a move over now to show you actually how we do that. And here we go. Okay, we're back and made the transition over so that I could show you. But we have a target server, in this case HDMI 1920-1080, supplying some content. It is a Windows 10 server at this point. And basically we have it connected to a DKX4101. You can see the Ethernet connection here is going straight over to an LX60 from Sierra Wireless. And in our case, we're using Wi-Fi. You could easily use a cellular chip. The point is the bandwidth utilization is spectacular, and we, as I showed you, were able to conduct routine maintenance or server access to see what's going on that particular server. Now, in addition to our KX products now, with connection to a USB port, we have a DSAM, which gives you a fully functional serial port that you can actually copy and paste scripts to and text. And you can add that to any of our KX products. In this case, I've got a 4-port DSAM, and it's connected to the USB port of our DKX4101 across our wireless. All right, now to show you one of the coolest kept secrets there is. You can actually configure our KX4 series and our PDUs with a simple iPhone connection. So I'm going to take my power cord and my typical data cable that was plugged into my power supply, and I'm going to connect it to the open USB port on the KX4101. And of course I have to approve this appliance computer. And I'm trusting this computer with my super secret password. And I'm authenticating with the admin user and password. And there we see the initial screen scrape that we had, showing the content that's being presented currently from the server to the DKX4101 high performance KVM. At this point, we have the flexibility, as we did with the bandwidth, the IP configuration, the SNMP traps, anything that we may want to do from a network appliance standpoint, but taking it a step further, since it is a KVM and it's a high performance KVM, we can actually configure the port from a digital standpoint to what DDC tables presented, what EDID we're actually using. And from a digital standpoint, it will actually take and embed digital audio and send it across the HDMI channel. So it's a fully digital product at this point. And should you want to use VGA, you can simply do that. And there's an adapter for that. And at this point, we have capability of doing pretty much anything. If we wanted to manage to it by itself, we could actually, address user access and so on and so forth, maintenance upgrades and those types of things should we want to. Of course, we're probably leveraging a Command Center Secure Gateway for a product like this in quantity, but it's very simple then to do troubleshooting in the field or in the rack at the location, just using an iPhone or an iPad. Now, taking it a step further, I'm going to jump up and show you connectivity to a Raritan PDU as well. And in this case, the personality module is in the new SRC, which is a fabulous new product that does an immense amount of monitoring as well as administration of outlets and adding outlets to KVM. or just regular outlets. And so in this case, the main screen we're going to see, I hope you can see that. The glare is terrible on this right now. Instead of the screen scrape from a KVM standpoint being displayed of status, we're actually seeing the current from the circuit, and then we can actually go in granularly and see outlets, control outlets. We can see the amperage, we can see the hertz, the cycles. We can do pretty much everything that we want to do also now from a configuration standpoint, from the fact that it's a network appliance. And so I think you have to agree with me, being able to use an iPhone or an iPad to configure your Raritan IPDUs, your SRC, or your KX4 products is pretty fantastic. And that's just another benefit of the Raritan product line, the brand under Legrand. So we're going to move forward now with something else. Here's an update of the user station enhancements we just released about the time of this video being recorded. So we're going to take a quick demonstration of a couple of these things and close out our session. Going to take you in now to see one of our coolest new features. Now, don't be misled, because what you see is not the way it used to be. What we're going to do now is our port scanner. Now, KVM switches in the past have typically had some type of a port scanner per the appliance so that you could actually get screen scrapes, thumbnails of a blocked KVM solution, but typically not an entire matrix. So what we're going to show you now is the capability to actually go within the UST and create a personalized matrix for port scanning. And what happens is you just go to the device, and there's now a configuration button that allows you to include it into a port scan. And we can set up and custom configure the port scanning capability with a scan and dwell time, for lack of better words, but the response between how quick in between screen scrapes or thumbnails that it posts or checks, and then how long that stays up in duration. So we chose that, and now I'm going to pan out and show you what the screen actually looks like when we do a port scan. And so now we choose port scanner, and our window is going to come up showing us all of our thumbnails. Now we can custom configure this particular screen as well to maximize the potential of what other type of UHDs or screens that we're actually seeing. And as with typical port scanners, you have the ability to simply point, double click. I'm just trying to make this much bigger so that you can see it easier. But you can basically take control, full KVM, by simply pointing and double clicking. Now this is going to take a couple of seconds to run through, and not all my servers are live or have been touched in the past couple of minutes, but let's fast forward and see what happens. Okay, as we come back, you can see the screen scrapes that are actually populating from what servers or streamers or workstations or laptops I do have running. And if you needed to gain direct KVM access, you simply point and double click on that window, and there we go. We bring it into focus for KVM. And of course, go back to some that you've seen. Of course, we can play that. We can release this streamer and let it keep playing, and you'll see that our audio will come back.
Can provide. Raritan has responded with the most powerful and flexible KVM over IP switch ever.
And we can create it to stop the scan in the background if we want to maximize bandwidth, or we can continue working.
Java-free, BIOS-level remote access, management, and control of a single server, PC, or workstation anytime, anywhere.
I'll go ahead and kill that display.
KX4101.
And that gives you an idea about our multi-scan, port scan, now that you can do based on nodes from the Command Center Secure Gateway or nodes, as you're allowed access to those nodes from local login on the UST.
We're very proud to announce that the DKX4101 just went fanless. If you join us for the Q&A and ask for my personal story afterwards, I will share that with you of a benefit of being fanless. Raritan, a brand of Legrand, is now proud to say we serve industries internationally worldwide in cloud and IT services, co-location, edge facilities, content providers, media, broadcast, film and entertainment, education, higher education, centers for remote learning, energy and utilities, financial and insurance, government, our nation's military, healthcare, research, manufacturing, mining, retail, automation, transportation, aerospace, and our displaced workers in today's world from most all industries. That concludes our presentation for today. Let's now move to the live forum for questions and hopefully answers. Thanks again, Spiceworld 2021. We really appreciate your attendance.